Just incredible!
Just incredible, man.
Just incredible. Run the thing, eh? Run it!
Yes. Welcome to it. Just Incredibles podcast live right here in beautiful Los Angeles, California. Even though it's kind of windy outside today, something we're not really used to. I got a guy here, man. I've been listening and watching your journey, your progress, your success, like many have for many years, man. You're a phenomenal trainer, entrepreneur, motivational speaker. Just Train boss is here, man.
Man, thank you so much for having me, man. I'm very honored to be here. Sentiments are the same. Been able to kind of see, hear, learned a lot most recently about some of the things you've done.
Thank you.
And super excited to be here today to just kind of share the opportunity to share our voices to kind of inspire people and
Appreciate it.
Tell them to push through. So thank you for having me on. I'm always humbled by these opportunities.
Thank you, man. It's an honor and a privilege to have you here. I mean, you do so much, man.
Yeah.
You do so much. Talk to me about, Just Train. Let's start there, man.
Look, man, Just Train really started from, the guy that didn't want to be a trainer. You know what I mean? Deep down, I didn't want to be a trainer. I was a football player that didn't want to go to work. And so I thought the way to figure out entrepreneurship was to train people in football workouts. And I have a long list of NFL family members, and one of my cousins opened up a gym and we created a company called Total Player. And then one thing led to another. I got on a road with Neo and started training Neo, which is another story. I kind of jumped, but that's where Just Train came from. I was on the road and I was just like, man, just train. Everybody would ask me things and I would be like, just train.
Just train.
Just train. Don't say nothing to me. And I was anti-social media. I was anti-Twitter. I was anti all of this stuff. And one of my guys on the road, Santos, was like, yo, bro, just start a Twitter.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't want it to be about me. I wanted it to be a company name. So that's where Just Train came from. Interesting enough, when I'm out, people call me Just. So when people call, I'm hearing people
They call me Just as well.
Yeah. Because everybody thinks my name is Justin.
Oh, okay.
Because of Just Train. Right. And so Just Train came from that, but the mantra kind of grew. I don't want to say that I had it all figured out. Right. In the beginning, it was literally that simple. And then as I continued to think about what my value proposition was, it was just train the mind and the body to follow.
Yeah,
that's really what it became, because for me, no one merely wakes up and becomes successful. You have to train your mind literally in order to have success. So you have to just train your mind in order to go be a great DJ, to be a great producer, go be a great athlete. Your mind has to be prepared for success way before you ever get there. So just train the mind and the body to follow really became the mantra. And so it's not just about the gym, it's about life. And so many people put that box because they see me in the gym, but then I started to realize that the gym was my most powerful place, because no matter how much money you have, no matter how much money you don't have, we all go to the gym. We're all trying to be healthy. We're all trying to live our life. And when they say health is wealth, it is the true meaning of health is wealth. I've been able to bridge the gap of a lot of opportunities with individuals that don't have finances, but the guys that do can help those guys, right? Because they see the equity of sweat that they're putting in and their willingness to work. And so the gym has provided that, and that's what it provided for me. And so that's what Just Train really became. It was all about that mindset where someone doesn't just merely win the lottery, right? And when people win the lottery, they say people go broke. Well, they were never mentally prepared for success, right? Because that wasn't there for them, versus a person working for it, building it, and they're more likely to have it because their mindset was trained.
It all starts
with training the mind.
It all starts to train the mind.
Yeah.
Ron Boss Everline, all right? Not Justin, like people might think, right?
Yeah.
Why do people call you Boss? Where'd that come from?
Boss came from Dukes of Hazzard. So I got a red birthmark on my face. The people that follow me and kind of know the Dukes of Hazzard show, Boss Hog. I used to be dressed in white clothes all the time. And since I was a baby, I'll be completely honest with you, I didn't even know my real name. All I knew was Boss. Even my family members, one of my cousins, Derek Johnson, used to play for the Chiefs. And I went to his game. I played down in Missouri, and I was asking for the tickets. Like, bro, what tickets at Will call? He's like, I put them on the Boss. I'm like, man, my fucking name Ron Everline. What
my ID don't say.
What are you talking about?
Right.
And so I realized really early, and I didn't even know what it meant. I didn't understand. Like when people say, I'm not calling you Boss, and I'm like, okay, no problem. I didn't know. I was just called Boss my whole life. So there was no reason, no rhyme to, I think my family did, but I didn't understand.
You didn't know at that time.
I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
So Dukes of Hazzard, and I'm in old school, so I got to figure out how to get that,
that whip.
Yeah, got to make sure I get the whip. Got to get the whip.
Now I've heard some stories about, some legendary birthday parties, man. Little Flip, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Zero, Scarface have attended, your birthday parties, man. How do you know all these legends, bro?
Man, I got to give credit to my wife for pulling off probably the best 40th birthday party I could ever think about.
Sheesh.
She got all those Houston legends to come out and represent and show love, man. Lil Kiki was there.
Lil Kiki
was there. Scarface was there.
Where was the party?
The party was all over Houston, bro. She had my high school band come out. My aunt, everything. Football team was out there. The coaches. She literally, everybody, the Ubers were slabs. You know what I mean? She literally, the police shut down the freeway. We got footage. It was probably it was a 1 day full. I had no clue. It was a surprise. Got on the plane. They had no idea.
Where do you think you're going? Or what does she say?
She just said, meet me at the airport.
Wow.
No, she said, meet me at the airport. And I was kind of like, okay, I figured something was going on because I told her for my 40th, I wanted to do something, but it was a whole week in advance. So I'm out of there. She's like, hey, I had to go to work that morning. Went to work. We were on set of a thing, and she's like, "Hey, you have to leave early." And I'm like, "No, I gotta work. I'm like, I gotta work." And she's like, "No, you have to leave early." And so all my friends, man, all the people that I love was in Houston. They surprised me, man. And it was deeply, deeply felt of the people that love you and the things that you do, that people show up and support you.
Man,
and so
what a blessing.
It wasn't about my birthday. I feel like it was more about celebrating the love in the room. I was thankful that it was my birthday, that we brought people together, but it makes you realize just being a good human has its rewards. You know what I mean? And
you learned real quickly, wifey is the real boss.
She's the real boss.
She's
Absolutely.
The real boss.
Even when we go to Houston now, people will see her and go, they didn't even call me. They're like, Dominique. I'm like, okay, that's calling my wife's name.
Right.
Got it. But very, I loved it. It was super, super special to be able to celebrate my 40th birthday in Houston, and it was, Ray was there. Literally, not just the big names. Even Russ was there, Kev, but man, my high school teammates, my college teammates.
Damn, what a feeling.
Man, it was deep. My cousins I hadn't seen in a long time. It felt really, really good to just see people come celebrate. I try to live my life with good intention.
Always.
It was just, I pray that they showed up for the reflection of who I am, not the reflection of what they see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, and if that was the case, okay. But I do know that we celebrated love that day amongst a bunch of individuals. Toby Nwegwe was there, my brother. Toby.
Wow,
He's from Houston. H-Town. That's my guy. Yeah.
Man, shout out to our brother RJ, man.
Yeah.
It was great hanging at his I was at the house for one of the Thanksgiving Christmas parties, and I saw you with your wife and your children. How has fatherhood, you know what I'm saying, impacted your journey, man?
Man, I would say that the fatherhood for me has created a lot of patience. I'm a bull in a china shop. I wake up in the morning, I go. I don't have a lot of rhyme or reason. I like to get up, have I create a routine. I've created a routine over my life. My kids have really given me more drive and purpose, but also patience, right? The patience to listen, understand, and each kid is different. And so I've been able to look at my kids and say, this kid is completely different than that kid. And so that's given me something that I never thought I would have, right? Because, in the world as a man, all we're trying to do is provide. And really having that level of vulnerability with my kids and being able to see them and wanting them to be a better man than me and making sure that I'm intentional on the things that I'm doing. It slows you down and makes you think a little bit more, because when you're just thinking about yourself, things...
Yeah,
you can
you're
just run.
just on the fly.
You're on the fly. But I really want to be a good example to my kids, and so that has been really, really special to me.
Yeah.
And again, I tell people all the time, I've only been a dad for the last 4.5 years. I don't got all the answers. A lot of times people have the answers. I'm learning. I tell people I'm in the learning phase of what it means to be a husband, what it means to be a dad, and I'm doing my best. You know what I mean? I don't tell people I can share with you what I've learned.
Right.
Like I tell people all the time, I can only share with you what I've learned of being married for 5 years. I don't have the answers to the test, you know.
We're not perfect.
We're not perfect. You know what I mean? So I seek people that are wiser than me, even on the journey of how to raise kids. And then there's your ways that you do it yourself. And so that's what's been really fun about, my kids.
As on an entrepreneur level, you said the word patience.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that word, man, because we're in a lifestyle, we're in a generation where people think it happens overnight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work like that.
Yeah. I would say for me, being an entrepreneur was not something that it was always what I wanted to do, but it was not the new cool thing that people think it is today, where it's that instant gratification.
Right.
Been doing this now for about 17, 18 years, not just from the training side, but the business side. A lot of people don't know I sit on a lot of boards and invest in a lot of companies. But what really taught me was being patient, right? I was trying to push and shove things really, really early, going to a company called C4, who I'm a partner with, an executive at the company, and it's one of the largest energy drinks in the country.
Yes, sir.
And again, like I said, I've been with them 10 years, right? But early on, when I signed the deal, it wasn't, there were more people offering me more money, but I needed to be patient, right? I needed to be patient and wait until now we've been able to help bridge the gap with more talent coming to the board. I've been able to bring more talent, brought Kev, brought Yadi, brought multiple people to be able to be a part of this bigger brand. And that's where the patience came in versus always trying to run to the bag and it's greater later. I'll tell you when patience didn't work. I did a deal with a car, I won't say the name of the car company. Okay. Gave me the first call. I had no social media. All I had to do was appearances, and I got paid a 6-figure thing, and I got a free car for 3 years. The next year, my team was like, "Hey, we need to double. You're a draw. You need to do this." And we sent it over to the team, and they were like, "We're going to pass," right? But it was overvalued too soon. Right?
Overvalued too soon.
Overvalued too soon. I needed to be a little bit more patient. I needed to let this build a little bit more. And a lot of times we think we do something good for a short period of time and not a long period of time. And we think the value's there early too often. Yeah. And what I've learned is let the value build. Let the value build. That's the patience. And that's what it's entrepreneurship has allowed me to just be patient, and your time will come and things will arise as long as you're diligent, right? I believe that you have to get up and work, and you have to, you got to go out there and put yourself in those environments to do business. Sure. And nothing's going to come knock on your door. But nothing's coming to knock on your door.
Knock on door.
But being patient has allowed a lot more opportunities to come to me because I now get to listen and before I speak. I get to wait to see how things are going to unfold versus being reactive, because I was very reactive. I used to be
I can relate. Yeah.
I was very reactive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it just helped me tenfold, slow down, let things pan themselves out, and opportunity presented itself like nothing other.
Man, okay. So you're literally talking about just training your mind.
Just training my mind, yeah.
I want to talk about that pushing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, when we're in that, maybe the ego pops out a little bit. You like, no one knows what I need better than me.
Yeah.
How did you, you know what I'm saying? What were some of your experiences where you knew when to press on the gas and when to let up?
Some point in your life, you have to be selfish, and you got to allow your ego to do that. You gotta push, you gotta go, because and there was a lot of times that I'm still very misunderstood, but I'm okay with the human that is misunderstood because
you know where it comes from.
I know where it comes from.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm okay with being misunderstood because I know that I'm trying to push, and I know my superpower. Yeah. I'm trying to build the best of myself and the best in you and the people around me, and so that push has allowed, and that ego has allowed for me to also kick down a door. I was sitting down with one of my friends who is, I like to give people credit. I was at dinner with Russell Westbrook.
Come on. Shout out to Russell Westbrook, man.
That's LA,
LA legend.
LA legend, NBA legend.
NBA legend.
Yeah.
Such just a great, like, the energy I get, just good person. You know what I mean?
One of the best people you can meet.
Man.
And was able to go to dinner with him. And I was going through this phase in my life where everybody was like, "Oh, well, you're too hard on people, or you're too aggressive, and you're too this," and we're in this. And I never forget sitting at dinner with Russ, and Russ was like, "How you get to where you at?" And he was like, "I was like being a savage," and he's like, "Okay, so why would you stop being a savage?" And And I don't say names to just say names, right? These are my brothers, right?
Absolutely.
And you are who you surround yourself around.
Right.
The 5 closest people to you are who you are. You know what I mean? I believe in that.
Closest people.
Yeah. So and me and my brother, him and Kevin Hart have a elite group chat where we talk and we build and we talk about these type of things. And it reminded me that I can make changes about my character, but I also need to continue to have a chip on my shoulder and have this push and this unwavering determination to go get it. And so sometimes that is ego, but you just got to know how to check that ego and that ego not be at the forefront, right? And that's listening, that's being patient. But I'm very dogmatic. I'm very much competitive. I want to compete, but I compete to uplift. I don't compete to destroy. Right. But just believe if we're competing, I'm competing. Like I want the food on the table. I'm competing. And if you beat me, good. Just know that I'm coming again. Like I'm, but so that's that savage mentality, right? I
see some of your like running sprints that y'all do on Instagram.
We'll do one today. Who? Me and you.
Oh shit! All right, I'm in.
We'll do one today.
All right, so. The difference between gut and ego, do you ever wonder what heartstring is pulling? Like, how do you identify that?
Man, that's really tough for me.
I'm the same way where it's like, God, I feel it. Yeah. But then sometimes I'm like, what shoulder? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Am I listening to?
Yeah. That's really tough for me. And I'll be honest. I don't know if I have the answer. Right. Because
you just have to trust kind of the experiences.
I got to trust the experiences because I would say that I would like to say I trust my gut.
Absolutely.
Right? But I also don't like to try to give the right answer, right? I try to give the answer that's true to where I'm at today. And I don't have the answer right now. I don't know if it's ego. I don't know if it's good. I just, to your point, I think a lot of experience, right? And the experience has created patience. The experience has created the right now. We got to go right now. You know what I mean? Because I'm a right now kind of guy. So even though I'm very patient, I'm also a right now kind of guy. So my team will say, hey, I'll be like, what are we doing? What are we waiting for? Like, I'm always looking for opportunity. I'm always ready to go. And I've been fortunate enough to, I wear a lot of hats, and sometimes I just told my wife yesterday, I'm like, I don't know how I do some of this stuff. You know what I mean? But I don't know if it's gut or ego. I do know that I have an ego. Most guys, I put my ego to, no, you, in order to thrive in this world as a man, you got to be able to, because it's principles. Some of that is principles. Like some of my ego is based around my principles and my beliefs and my value, and I'm not wavering on that. And so sometimes when you try to come at some of my principles, my ego gonna come out. You know what I mean? So
that moral compass.
Don't challenge that. Don't challenge that. So then you may not agree, but mine. You know what I mean? So you'd be like, oh, he ego. No, I just don't do that. You know what I mean? I ain't on that. And so you may be like, oh, and so however you want to, and the older you get or the more comfortable you become with yourself, you start to understand who you are. And some things you're willing to negotiate on and some things you're not. And so that's really where I'm trying to become. Every day I'm a work in progress. I don't have all the answers, but what I will say is that there's some non-negotiables for me.
I love it. You mentioned an elite group chat. The five people you're around is who you'll become. Is that
it's the 5 closest people to you. You draw yourself in the middle. You put your 5 closest people to you, and sometimes you got to look at that group and say, I got to get rid of some of these friends.
That's where I was going. Talk about that decision. You know what I'm saying? Because it's hard. We spoke a little bit off the air about loving someone, but needing a distance. You know what I'm saying? And I felt that specifically over the last 3 or 4 years in those group chats. There's some things I don't want to talk about anymore. Or I would rather spend my time talking this way. Talk about choosing your circle wisely. Yeah, man. Look, I think we like you said, we were talking off air. I think it's part of me is I love everyone. I don't like everyone. Right. And sometime in life we lose like in people. I still love you. I just don't like you where I'm at anymore. And so the smaller your group get, and you're trying to elevate, it needs to be isolated. And so I've isolated who I allow my confidants to be, my constituents, and who I allow to pour into me and who I allow myself to pour into. And so I'm always trying to give deposits, and I understand that they always won't be received. But when I am speaking, I'm speaking from a place of a circle. Right. And I also want to give positive feedback back to my circle as well. You know what I mean? Versus. That's how powerful it is. That's the win. That's the win. Yeah. So part of,
who I am. I tell my brothers all the time, and they're like, man, we're so proud of your success. I say, well, you should be proud of yourself. Because you're part of my success, because you're part of my group. You're part of my circle. You know what I mean? And so, and if your 5 close to you are really, really incredible, there may be room for a few more, but you got to be really, really, really intentional about who you're letting around. Sure. And so a lot of times people don't want to self-evaluate the individuals that are around. And that's why I love brotherhood so much, because if a dude is out of shape and the dude don't look right, we're going to tell you. We're not going to let you just walk around with us looking any kind of way. Right. Or what my friends ain't. You know what I mean? Right. We not, hey, bro, what you got on? What you doing? Hey, bro, you got to get in the gym. Come on. And we're very direct. Right. And I want people to hold me accountable. I want to be held accountable for some of the things that I say to myself.
So interesting. Some people do not want to be held accountable. Yeah. And, here you are with the success you have and, the knowledge and wisdom. And you're saying, hold me accountable.
Hold me accountable. Like if I'm saying we're going to do something, we're going to do it. If I'm saying I'm going to get up in the morning, if I'm saying we're going to go accomplish something, I want to be held accountable, because I want to be a person that people see as an executionist, right? That's who I want to be. I don't want to be a person that say he started this. I want to be a person that said they finished this. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And so a lot of times, I identified, I speak about this a lot. It's like when I see greatness, I don't just be like in admiration of it. I want to be it, right? So when I saw Kobe, I'm like, okay, you wake up at 4 a.m, you're in the gym. Cool. I'm in the gym at 4. I sign a contract with myself, right? Yeah. I'm going to sign a contract with myself, and I'm going to say this is a non-negotiable, right? And so those are things that boss had to decide. But I didn't just look at someone's greatness. I wanted to be that, right? And whatever that is, it's not about money. It's all about who you feel on the inside. What do you feel like on the inside of all the work that you're doing? And so for me, that's the difference. That's what I started to change in that mindset of looking at certain individuals and people around me that also motivated me to be something, not just I admire, but also can I be? Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. At what age did that light bulb kind of click for you?
I've never been a hater. So I pride myself on never being a hater. For sure. I think that's important, but I think as football started to work, and when guys are in front of you or you're the leader, you have to understand that it's just your time, or your time is coming. Yeah. And so that my brothers have always humbled me. So my mom had 9 kids. So I'm number 7 of 9. My mom had 6 boys and 3 girls. So I was always the little brother that always had to. I admire my older brothers. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it's been very special. So I would like to say it was when I was a kid. Just some technical difficulties living in LA. The wind is going. The wind's going. We still flowing. It is what it is. We flowing.
We giving the energy, man. We giving energy.
You know what I mean? And so I would like to say that it was at an early age. I think a lot of times, we try to play back. There's a lot of things that I try to forget on purpose. And then there's a lot of things that we try to play back in our head to try to sound really profound or super smart. I've gotten over trying to sound smart and just sharing my life experiences and going through what I go through. Yeah. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Especially in these moments of great conversation. I love it. I want to be authentic. I don't want to sound like I know it all. I just want to share my life experience so that we can share things together. And maybe you can come tell me something.
For sure.
Everybody ain't allowed to sit. Right? Because a lot of times people good enough for a short period of time, not a long period of time.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And so that's also what I've learned. It's like, I can't share a lot of space with people that don't want to always be positive. I used to be told I was too positive. You know what I mean?
Man, I've heard that as well.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, man, why are you always trying to
come on? He's positive? Always smiling, and it can't be that good.
I'm like, no, it ain't. But I ain't gonna give nothing else. I've been through some stuff already.
For real.
If you actually knew what I've been through, you'll be like, oh, I see why he's smiling.
That's
you
right.
know what I mean?
That's
so
right.
It changes.
Let's talk about some of that journey, man. A lot of people might not know you were one of the best coming out of high school linebackers in the country, man. Talk to me about the days in high school, transitioning into college, and your NFL dreams.
Yeah, man. Look, I would say I give my family a lot of credit because it was a lot of genes and genetics, but I worked really, really hard. My sister was actually an even more amazing athlete than me, Andrea Everline, at basketball. And I had to work a lot harder. But I never worked hard in class. And so that was always my shortcoming. I didn't pay attention. I was a roughneck. I was always just doing things I shouldn't have done. And so which led me to a different path, and went to JUCO in LA, was going to go to Arizona State. some other stuff happened because I also wasn't a good student. Went and played at Northwest Missouri, went to some championships, and the NFL, was the calling. That's what I wanted to do. I got 8 to 9 family members in the NFL that have done it at a very, very high level, and I thought that was my calling for life. And God said, "Nah, that ain't for you. I got something better." And so fitness has taken me around the world. Though I've expanded past that. I've learned that fitness is my golf and the training is my golf, and so I still use the football as my life tool, though.
That's
because
right.
I gamify the way I interact. I gamify how I train. I gamify how I like to do business. I try to find a way.
Absolutely. That competitive nature, you know what I'm saying? First one in, last one out.
People love it, right? And so I was able to use the sport to now over to my business world and to this world. And so it's been an amazing journey, though the NFL didn't work. I definitely did a deal with the NFL. I was the first person to go to the NFL Combine as a non-athlete to perform. And has spoken to their marketing department about branding and marketing and how to do different things.
Look at that.
Had my own show with the NFL called The Work, and it was super, super amazing and so the NFL didn't come the way I wanted it. It came in a different way.
Isn't that crazy how God works?
It came in a different way, and it's been beautiful to be able to sit back and say, man, he gave it to me like this versus like that. And now I get to talk to the NFL players. Now they're like, bro, how did you build a brand? Right. What can I be doing? And And so that's what's special about when you think something's for you and it's not.
I want to talk exactly about that.
Yeah.
Talk more about that, man. When you think something's for you and it's not, God's actually like, I got something greater. Hang this right turn. Yeah.
So a lot of times what I found is that we get upset when things don't go the way that we want them to go, and granted, I use this as a bad example. So please don't. I wish nothing more than my mom to be here. My mom passed away when I was 11, but when my mom passed away, it gave me this sense of resilience. And I've always used that as my, how do I propel forward? Okay, what would my mom want me to do? How would I take this situation? She was a very kind-hearted, sweet woman. And so when things don't go my way, I tend to go, okay, something else is greater on the way versus being upset and mad. I do allow myself to have emotions, but I also realize that those emotions lead me nowhere. And so I try to figure out a way to continue to go forward and do things that are more progressive to ultimately who I'm trying to become, not only for the financial gain, but the self gain. Absolutely. Can I overcome this? Can I not be mad at a situation? Can I change the outcome? A lot of times people get angry. Oh, somebody did me wrong and I'm so angry. And then that holds you back. You know what I mean? That single thing is holding you back as to why you're not growing, because you're worried about so many other people. You're so angry. You're so bothered. And versus focusing on yourself going, what did I do wrong? And my mom always said, when you point a finger, 3 are pointing back at you. So I always take responsibility. And as a leader, even when you didn't do something wrong, it's always your fault. Either way it goes.
That's what I was going to ask you. Yeah. Those situations where it's still on you. Yeah.
Right. Because it is what it is. And we can always discuss, okay, this person did that. But for me, I just got in my how I like to live my life. It was my fault, and sometimes that gets me in trouble, especially at home, because my wife's like, what do you mean it was your fault? And I'm like, well, I take responsibility. I'm a responsibility kind of guy. It wasn't that I was partaking in that or did that. Okay. And if I was, this is what I'm okay with setting in the fire. Yeah. And the more I grow, the more responsibility I take, the better it is for me to grow. The better it is for me to see something that I didn't see before versus always trying to place blame on other people and trying to say, it was their fault. It was this. No, it was probably my fault. What did I do? Did I not have enough conversations with this person? Did I not do this? Did I not give them a clear vision? What did I do?
Was I not transparent enough?
What did I do? And so some will say, well, that's kind of crazy. No, but it's good for me.
It's good. It is good.
It's good for me because I also, like I said, I can love you and not like you and also say, go that way. Let me work on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I got to sit with this, especially if I'm trying to go be better for more people. I can't continue to let things
dwell and pull you back. No. Man, it's so interesting you say that, man. I've definitely made all of these mistakes we talked about, man. All do. And, I think about a lot, even in situations where I prayed on certain things to change and God, take me out of this situation. It doesn't feel right for me. Yeah. But then I end up feeling bad in the sense of like, what could I have did better?
Yeah.
And I think about the communication or even transparency.
Yep.
Like you said, you could like or you could love from a distance, things of that sort. But I didn't know until I made those mistakes or lived that journey and those experiences. It's so crazy how we all go through.
And I like to tell people is what I've learned. It's what you've learned. You know what I mean? A lot of times people won't go through things. They will see things of experience versus what you can actually tell me what you've been through and what you've learned and use that to help somebody else and use that to help yourself. Right. And I love life experiences, especially when you're doing things that are inspiring individuals to be able to say, no, I actually did that. So here's where I made the mistake. Don't make the same mistake. You know what I mean? And I've been able to watch, being the seventh son of 9, I was able to see my brother's mistakes. I didn't have to go make some of the same mistakes that they made. You know what I mean? And so that was that fear of like, man, do I really want to go do that? Nah, I don't want to do that. Because I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth or a gold spoon in my mouth. I grew up, with my lights got turned off every now and again. I ain't from the projects. I'm not from the hood, but I also ain't from, you know what I mean?
Right,
like
the mansion.
It provided me the humbleness to go, oh, okay, I don't want to go do that. I don't want to go do that lived experience because someone already did it for me. And so a lot of times people want to go put their hand in a hot fire. And sometimes you got to let them do it. You know what I mean?
You have to let them do it.
Sometimes you got to let them do it. I got young guys that are on the team today and you'll go, hey man, you probably drinking it too much, but I'm going to tell you once, but you got to go do that.
Sometimes you just have to learn on your own.
I mentor, these college students sometime, and parents are like, tell them not to do this. And I'm like, nah, because did you do it? I'm not going to be unfair. I'm going to say, hey, here's some consequences if you do it the wrong way. Here's some things that you probably should look out for, people, places. But ultimately, people got to live their lives for themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't want to be the person that's trying to rob someone of living their own life experience and going through things that they will soon be able to teach somebody. I want to give you enough where I can share. Maybe it lessens the blow. At least someone told you.
I gave you a heads up.
Yeah.
And then you got to, you know what I mean?
Imagine how many times we talk about people that don't share.
Yeah.
But if people shared more, just for you to know
information,
it will lessen the blow. And so I think that's our position versus trying to stop someone. You know what I mean? Imagine giving someone free range and they're like, okay, versus telling someone no, they're going to go do it.
Yeah.
They're going to go do it. They're going to go do it versus saying, hey man, I'm just tell you what's out there. Here's what, do what you want. I've lived experience, but I know I get it. This is your time.
Right.
Go.
Right.
Versus saying, don't do that. They're gonna go do it.
They're gonna go do it.
This other person's less likely gonna do it because you know what I mean? So I think that's kind of where, life is.
So when training or mentoring or fathering, how do you not take it personal?
How do you not take it? Well, understanding that we're all different, especially from a teamwork. And training is meeting people where they are, not where I'm at. You know what I mean? I think that's what's one of my most powerful tools about building business, right?
Okay.
And not just training. When I go in and lean in on a company and we're on a boardroom, you got to hear the company's vision before I start coming in with a whole bunch of creative ideas and different things. Where are you? I want to meet you guys where you're at, and then let me lean in. Okay, I do have an experience in beverage. So if I'm helping a beverage company, I'm gonna say, well, here's what I've experienced at other, you know what I mean? But let me hear you first. Let me hear what you guys are doing. And then I can say, oh, maybe we should try these different things. And so I think even the smartest people in the world need a sense of guidance. You know what I mean? And so I don't take it personal as much. And I'm very passionate, but I always check myself and realize that people have their own experiences, their own things. My sons will be their own personalities. I'm just trying to give them enough tools in their toolbox.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So that they'll be able to say, at least my dad told me, at least my mom and dad gave me these tools. And there'll be emotional moments, right? Yeah. You'll get upset. You got to jack somebody up, well, not in work, but at your kids.
Yeah.
You got to, hey, come here. Come on. Get it together.
Yeah.
And there'll be some what's the word? Some passion behind the message.
Absolutely.
But ultimately it's up to them.
Yeah.
Ultimately, people going to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you said, just giving them the tools for the toolbox.
That's it. Tool for the toolbox.
What's your daily routine like, man? And what's one thing that might shock people about that routine?
I think people have heard me enough, but if you haven't, I wake up at 3:30 every morning.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
3:30 every morning.
I told you I signed that contract. I'm up at 3:30 for.
Okay, wait, what time is bedtime now?
Man, sometimes it's 3-4 hours of sleep. It's 11, 12. I mean, we're still networking. We still got a lot of work to do out here. So you can't just be in a house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of things you got to get done. And you don't got a lot of the window of opportunity. You got to know when you're hot. You got to know when the building blocks are on and keep the pressure on too. So it's in pressure time. I love pressure.
Yeah.
So we get up super early. 3:30.
Okay.
And if I'm not by myself, I'm with Kevin. Kevin's a grinder. So imagine someone having everything. Kevin Hart works, and we still get up at 4:30. You know what I mean? We're still grinding early in the morning. Our group chat is going off with another called the Wolf Pack, and we're hunting. We're hunting, and it's the brotherhood, and we're waking up and. We're literally all about how we're uplifting each other, and so we start from there. And then as early as I own a gym, so I try to go to the gym from 8 to 10.
Okay.
But some mornings there's calls, there's different things because we're doing a lot of business in different countries.
Yeah.
Did some big stuff in Qatar most recently, where Kev is the new face of Qatar Airlines, and so super excited about that project that I've been fortunate to be a part of and kind of help build. And so from there, there's those meetings and there's those conversations and for the rest of the day, there's venture. So I'm a managing partner of a venture firm, and so we're in meetings all day. We're looking at investment companies, or we're looking at what Just Train new integration will be, where we're going to continue to take the training side of our business, and or just portfolio companies like C4, Fabletics, Pathwater,
Talk about
just things that I actually work on day to day that actually fuel my ecosystem. And the reason why we built the gym was as an incubation, right? We got some of the best talent, most culture influential people at our gym. Well, Therabody, Pathwater, Fabletics, C4, they all work. They're all my companies. The gym is the place for them. So if we can allow them to touch the product in the gym, then they become a fan of it. It's very easy. Yeah. And so that's what the gym has provided. It's not only provided a place for mental health and people to move and get healthier physically, we've also provided a place for people to try new things and be a part of a community. And so
the community, I love the community. The community, it's so special, man.
The community special. And so even, a lot of times people say, I know this is what I was building. I knew it was all about community, but you really don't understand it until you build it.
Yeah.
Until you see it. And then, a lot of business deals have gotten done in the gym. Literally a lot of business deals has gotten done in the gym. And so that's been the fun part, because the person that boss is, the Just Train, CEOs, executives, CMOs want to come work out with me, venture. And they want to come and they want this energy. They want this gamification. They want this trash talk. They want this shit talk. And they come, we have fun, then we get to sit down and break bread on meet them. I want to hear what business they're working on. Yeah. So it's an entry point for me. But discipline is so attractive. So people want to come and be a part of discipline, right? Can it rub off on me? I tell people we sweat brothers and sisters all the time. You know what I mean? If you're willing to sweat with me, we willing to grind together. You know what I mean? Consistently. That used to be a rule for Just Train. You want to come be a part of the team, you have to wake up at 5 a.m. That was before. But you have to be at 5 a.m. workouts.
And if you're disciplined enough to do that,
you can be a part of the team.
You can be a part of the team.
Because and things have changed as a company grows, but early on, it was 5 a.m. workouts. Are you willing to sacrifice your time for opportunity? Right? And so really, a lot of times, like you talked about earlier, these individuals today, they see entrepreneurship as so fast. There's this instant gratification.
I feel like every 6 months, someone's changing their dream. And I try to tell people, like, it's not going to work like that. It's just not. It's not a slot machine. You know what I mean? No. I've seen your recently, you're in there with everybody, but, you got Paul Pierce, Matt Barnes. Has there ever been an introduction that you made that you could kind of speak on in the gym that's like, damn, the world would know kind of what came from that?
Yeah. I mean, look, me and Paul is.
You was giving Paul that work in that gym.
Yo, Paul is one of a kind. Man, you know what I would say is we talk about a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate enough. Matt has been a true brother.
I love what Matt's doing too, man.
Matt is people don't underestimate. I don't think anybody underestimates him, but if you do, he's a genius. I think Matt is one of the smartest guys. He's built it. I would argue that he's probably bigger now than he was when he played.
I heard that.
And Matt, I trained Matt, but when he was post career, right after he was still going in a little bit, and I'll never forget Matt just being a good dude, and me and Matt just connected, and we started doing business, and we started doing introduction. But Matt has, if I call Matt's like, no question, I got you. I'm gonna sit on a panel. I'm gonna come do this. We're gonna launch this podcast called Meet the Athlete, where we invest and we find companies like a Shark Tank. And Matt was like, I'm in. And we're looking at companies to invest in together, and we're looking at founders that we like and things like that. And Matt was the first person. That's the guy I called, right, to kick it off. And that's what, so opportunities have come. And I don't know how much Matt talks about his, partners and some of the companies we've invested in together, but we've done some deals together and we've invested. And I love what Matt is doing with all the smoke. And
so good.
I'm inspired. When I tell you, when I see people doing amazing stuff, it's like, I've never been a hater from a sense of like, I love to see people do great because it gives me a
benchmark almost, right?
You're like, oh, okay, we can go do that. And I don't got to do the same thing, but at least I know that that's out there.
Yeah,
At least I understand what the setup should be or what the opportunity can be.
Yeah.
And Paul, going through, being able to watch Paul, go through what he's went through from, network TV to podcast to now back on network TV.
Yeah.
So that's been special to watch, and it's inspiring. And a lot of times people don't understand the inspiration outside of the sport. For me, I'm looking at the business of these guys, right? And being able to watch them excel, because a lot of guys don't know how to do it. A lot of guys and girls don't know how to excel past where people see them as, right?
Yeah.
And so what we're trying to do and what I'm trying to do is get athletes to be seen as culture leaders and product pushers and culture, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
So much more than just investors and so much more than just the talent.
Yeah.
And some guys and girls just want to be the talent. But the people that don't, how do we open up that opportunity?
Yeah,
how do we open up that long-term wealth that we talk about in the Black and Brown community?
Yeah.
Me and Kevin, we've signed a deal with JP Morgan Chase, and we talk about, the concept came up of financial fitness. How do we teach people how to become financial fitness? And it was literally, it's funny enough, it was Kevin talking about, the whole concept came about, man, you don't just wake up and run a marathon. You run 1 mile at a time. You don't just wake up and become a millionaire. It's $1 at a time, right? You want to go to the gym. You want gains in the gym where you can't eat certain things. You want gains in your bank account. You can't buy certain things. So they go to hand in hand. And so we've done some really, really unique things with them, and we're building it's been a long-term relationship, and it's been amazing, right? So being able to say that that fitness is the anchor. See, I can always tie it back to health and wellness. You know what I mean? It's nothing that we do that's not all interconnected. Right. Man. And so that's what I love the most about the ecosystem that we built, is that we're investing in building things that all can work together and all can rival each other. That's not rival each other, but work in one
to get collectively. We talked about your day to day. Talk about the importance of nutrition, man. How does nutrition play such a big part?
Man, you know, one of the things that you've heard it before, you can't out-trade a bad diet. You have to eat healthy, not only from a place of just the physical, but the internal, right? You want to make sure that you're not, I pride myself. I'm trying to cut out Oreos in 2025. I'm an Oreo lover.
I did it last night.
Man,
couple Oreos with some milk.
Stuff, you know what I mean? I'm like, bro, I love Oreos. So I'm trying to cut it out. But I believe life is balanced. I think nutrition is 80%, 20%. And it's, I tell people all the time, you're not unhealthy because you ate one piece of cake, and you're not healthy because you ate a good salad, right? It's what you do over a period of time. It's what are you doing majority of the time that leads you to a healthy nutritional diet. And I don't believe in the cookie cutter, you need to eat chicken, broccoli, and rice on the same thing, right? I think that life is balanced. You work hard, you deserve certain things. Balance your life, move more, eat less, right? If I learned that I don't need to eat everything on my plate. You know what I mean?
Got it. Yeah.
And that sounds, but depending if I'm in my right macros, and what I've tried to do is not come with, though I understand the science, I don't want to complicate it for people. It's too much shit on the internet. It's too many people out here complicating what is native. Right? What is native is movement. What is native is getting out, moving more than you're eating, being active, living your life, doing more. Hey, let me go and walk with my kids. Let me take my wife on a jog. Hey, let's go for a bike ride. Hey, let's go outside and play a little ping pong. Let's go. Whatever it may be. Staying active. And we're on devices a lot more. So what I've done, yes, can I help you? And I have helped thousands of people lose a lot of weight. But when you come to me, I want to meet you where you are. So if you're drinking 5 sodas, I'm going to ask you, can we drink 3? Right. And then we'll gradually get to 1, then we'll gradually get to none. So that's my approach on nutrition. I do have a really deep dive into kind of how I help people get in optimal shape. Yes. We've done that. But my basic approach is eat less, move more, walk as much as you can. If you can run a little bit, get your heart health up. Yeah. And the food side of it will automatically, for me, I would say when you're doing the work, you don't want to put bad stuff in your body because you're like, man, I don't want to go.
Why did I just do all that? And then, of course. Yeah. I got a couple questions as someone who's new on a fitness journey, to someone who's trained the best of the best. And it's like, how do you know from a trainer's perspective, how do you know when to push and when to pull back? Because if I'm just in there, I'm sweating and I'm like, I'm done. I can't take it. But I feel like you have the magic of knowing, okay, today we got to go a little harder, or, you know what I mean? What's that balance like?
It's the expertise, right? And time. I think that I've put in enough hours to look at a person's character, see where I can push. I ask certain cues, to say, how are you feeling on a scale of 1 to 10? And I can tell in your voice if you're, trying to get out of it. I've been doing it long enough to know if you're cheating me
or cheating
yourself. I'm always going to push. I'm always ask if you got a little bit more in your tank. And I always tell people, if you stop right now, you do know you're not cheating me, you're cheating yourself.
I heard that. See, that's the part where your mind starts to...
Yeah, it's like...
That light bulb got to go off.
There's like, we do these 1-minute runs sometime, and guys will run for 40 seconds and thinking nobody's watching, and I always catch them, and I go, hey, I just want you to know, you're not cheating me. Because the task is for me to help you get better. Right. Not just from a physical place, but from a mental place. So if you're lying to yourself about actually running a minute... and you ran 40 seconds. Well, that goes into your day.
I heard that.
For me, I'm like, if I'm thinking about all of this all the time, that means I'm willing to take shortcuts. Right. So I always remind guys like, oh, so you're a shortcut person. Okay. So I see when it's time, when things get sticky, you're going to be like, oh, I'll sacrifice 20 seconds or I'll do something, So I always tell people, man, this is building character, right? When no one's looking, are you finishing? Are you cheating yourself? Are you giving it your all? And when you know that you're giving it your all, man, there's a self-gratification. There's something that you feel about yourself that no one can rob you of. I get asked a question about these new drugs on the market all the time. And I go, I'm a believer in hard work. Do what you want to do.
Right.
But when you do the work, there's no better feeling.
That's right.
There's no better feeling.
And that goes back to the earlier part of our conversation about gut and ego. When you've done the work though, and you've experienced it, that's when you could really speak on that level.
And when someone tries to talk you out of it, and they may say he may be arrogant. And I tell, there used to be the saying when I played football, don't confuse my confidence for arrogance. Right? I worked on it. So you may, I'm walking with my head high because I put the work in. Right. And don't, because you're intimidated by me, don't say I'm intimidating.
Exactly.
Don't say I'm intimidating or I'm assertive and I mean, no. If my presence of the discipline that I lead is intimidating, don't put that on. Don't put that on me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. How important is stretching and warming up before you really get active out there?
Man, I think you first of all, I always tell you got to warm up your body. So a lot of times you can go into the gym and I think a misconception is going right to stretching.
Right to stretching.
It's wrong, in my opinion.
Okay.
I think that a nice walk on the treadmill. Nice, get your body warmed and primed. You're starting off cold. You're going in the gym and you're going to start stretching. Your body isn't ready for any movement. So I think the proper way to do it is go in the gym, warm up, 5 or 6 minute walk on the incline, or walk outside, whatever, maybe do a few lunges slow, and then go into a nice stretch. Then go into some dynamic warm-ups. And dynamic warm-ups mean knee hugs, quad pulls, same stretches, just not static. Static is standing still. I love static stretching as well, but dynamic warm-up is more like an athlete, right? You're getting ready to perform. And if you start to look at training like a performance and like an athlete, it'll gamify the way you want to approach the gym. It'll make you look at the gym a lot differently because you're feeling like, oh, I'm going to compete for something. Your best self.
Your best self is what you're competing for. And
so you approach that like the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's what I love about the gym in general. But overall, I like dynamic warm-ups. I love some static stretching, but after your body's kind of primed and ready to go.
Warmed up, yeah. Can you give me a story where you had a lot going on, man? Your day-to-day is super busy, and a high-profile client had a session with you, and a few minutes before the session, they canceled on you. How are you handling that?
Look, that happens a lot,
especially
early on. Yeah, that happens a lot early on. But and what I try to tell my young guys too, right? Because we travel across the world, with high-end clientele. Clientele, man, our job is to service. Right. And is it frustrating? There's been times I've waited in the gym for Kev for 3 hours and, but I know what I'm here to do. I ain't here to go party. I ain't here. Look, I'm here to do my job. And if I don't do this well, I can't, again, going back to those, I can't do this well.
Right.
And so, also you have to, there's frustration. Like, bro, you could have told me, come on. But, that 3 hours is nothing compared to sitting in, another country. I won't say the country because my friends are very, very close to me. And they never came to the gym. And I sat there for 24 hours. Fortunately, it was at a really, really nice, the gym was at the house and it was incredible.
Right.
My office is in there as well.
Yeah.
I have an office in another country, but they never came. And they were like, oh, he's coming. And
that's disappointing.
It's a part of the job.
It's a part of the game, yeah.
When you're in a service business, man, again, we're talking about wearing your heart on your sleeve, being emotionally tied to it. I am here to do my job, and I don't schedule anything else until my job is done.
Complete.
And now I have, I've worked myself into a position where, hey, we got other things going on. Hey, here's a window. But early on in my career, you cannot have a tie to someone being late, especially if you want to work in this industry.
Well, that says a lot about them as well. That's another character thing. You know what I mean?
And you know what? I learned that, I took that away too, though, Jess. I took that away and said, I don't know what somebody else is doing, but if they've paid me to be here, my job is to be here. I don't even try to figure out.
Get deep into it.
I'm like, hey, when you want me here, I'll never forget one of my guys, client hadn't trained, in 2 years. I mean, hadn't trained in 2 years. He was on payroll, living in another country, everything taken care of.
Right.
And he decided he wanted to come home for Valentine's Day. Flew himself home for Valentine's Day, 16-hour flight. And the client wanted to train. And he was like, man, I ain't trained and da-da. It don't matter. It don't matter. Did you communicate? Did you ask? Did you say, hey, bro, I'm not going to be here for 4 or 5 days? When someone's paying you for your time, and it's not to be disrespected, no, hey, just communicate.
Communicate. That's
so.
it.
But I've also taken the emotion away. Some people want to go, that's wrong, and I've just learned if you want to grow, you got to sacrifice who you are for who you can become. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to grow, especially you at the bottom and trying to build yourself up. And a lot of times people haven't put in those 10,000 hours.
Man, so that's 10,000 hours, man.
And I really think it's more like 15,000.
Yeah, seriously.
It's really like, that's just a thing 20. It's like, it's a lot more.
Yeah.
A lot of times guys say that because that was a thing that just kind of became trendy, but it's like, it's a lot of, you got to put in a lot of time.
A lot of time.
But I've gotten to a point to where, my guys cannot be like, hey, I got to go to a meeting. Can you make sure such and such is okay? Or,
communication.
I don't get, there's guys right now, that'll say, I'm on my way and don't come. Hey guys, such and such is on his way. Here's the program. I gotta go. Like I got a busy schedule.
Yeah, of
you
course.
know what I mean? So
of course.
we've aligned ourselves with, now they get to have the success. Now it's teamwork. Now versus just being boss. Now it's your opportunity. Now and so I look at it as an opportunity for other guys and other girls to take advantage of, but if you're emotionally okay, opportunity presents itself, because even like you, right? You're successful. You built a lot of amazing things. You want emotional, capable people that don't get flustered around you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want people that are like a doer. You want people that are not going to complain, because you don't need to be worried about other things when you're, you know what I mean?
Seriously.
When you're doing your thing.
And like we were saying off the air, it's like a roller coaster. I mean, so many energies coming at you throughout the day.
Yep.
10 a.m. might be one thing and noon might be another. You might be celebrating by 2, and by 4 is another fire to put out.
Whole nother fire.
All day
long. And so you got to, especially as you're growing, the emotional capacity of you and the people around you have to be intact, knowing that things are going to come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Knowing.
Expecting
it. I used to, and not that it's all bad, but just knowing that, hey, something may come up.
Right.
I'm not going to overreact.
Smart.
But there were moments I did, right?
Too.
Which you learn. But if Muhammad Ali, and I love, he said, a man that thinks as he does is 50, as he does is 20, has wasted 30 years of his life.
Wow, that's a bar. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm always conscious of that. Am I growing mentally? Am I becoming a better version of boss? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to think of the same way I think now at 40 as I do at 60.
Yeah.
I don't.
Nah,
I don't.
Hell no.
I don't want to think the same thing. I want to be grounded to my core principles, but I want to be able to go, okay, I get that, because the world's changing.
Everything's changing fast.
Everything's changing.
Yeah.
So if I'm the same old, I'll be grounded to certain things, but I want to be able to be like, okay,
yeah,
I don't want to think the same way.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Should people work out 7 days a week? Like, what's your recommendation?
My recommendation, honestly, is you should move your body 7 days a week. Working out is whatever you describe it as, because I'm an extremist, right? I think there should be 3 days of actual weights, intentional movement. I think 7 days. I don't think a person should ever sit on the couch all day long.
I heard that.
And just be lazy. I think every day is an opportunity for an hour to get up and just say, this is for me. You gotta remember, it's for you.
I know.
The people, like the negotiations of like what is for you is crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's for you. Literally.
It's for you. Like, get up every day, 7 days. I'm gonna go for a walk. Everything doesn't have to be extreme, but you should move your body 7 days a week.
Absolutely.
There's no that you shouldn't negotiate with that.
Not at all.
Hey, I'm gonna wake up. I gotta go to work. It don't gotta all be extreme. Okay, I'm gonna go tonight. I may just do some body squats and some lunges in the house. I may do some sit-ups.
It could be a walk around the,
Whatever.
around the community or the park or something.
However you move your body intentionally. To say, hey man, I'm making myself a better version of me.
I heard that.
You know what I mean? But I don't, because people go and then they go through these days where the days they're not doing anything, they're like, I'm gonna chill, I'm gonna watch TV, I'm gonna eat this, I'm gonna do that. And it's like, no.
The important thing to know is it's a lifestyle. It's really a lifestyle.
And it's your life.
It's your life. Yeah.
And it's your life. I don't care if you big, small, whatever you are, move your body.
Right. No, I heard you talk about, someone asked you, is it easier to, they were Kevin Hart's in size compared to Matt Barnes or another NFL player. And you were like, no, there's no easy way out. There's no, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's your body. This is your life.
It's yours. It's no, if you this or that, it's yours.
How about managing expectations? It's summertime. People want the summer body. They come to you in 2 weeks. They got to go on a trip and they want to have a perfect body.
Yeah, we have. I've done those things before, but I would say people know me at this point. They kind of know what they're going to get, man, give yourself time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people kind of know who I am. People kind of know that I'm not a cookie cutter, kind of quick and easy. You know what I mean? But do I have some quick things? Not 2 week quick, but I got some things that can help you a little faster.
That would,
but it's work. And no matter what, there's still, the work is longer though. You got to put in some hours.
That part.
Yeah.
I know family's everything to you,
Family's
man.
everything,
Number
man.
one. Number
Everything.
one. You come from a big family.
Yeah.
Your mom passing at an early age for you. You spoke about that a little bit earlier. How did that help shape and mold your life from that moment on?
Yeah, man. You know, my mom passing at an early age, you ask yourself, why? Why me? Why me? Why me? Those are early. And then you know, as my brothers, and like I said, you start to ask yourself, why not me? Why would I want that for someone else? Why did I, you know, and that was, by the way, that's the only way you can think, right? Because I'm not a victim. You know, I never wanted to be a victim. My mother wouldn't want us to be victims. And it shaped me to understand that when things don't go your way, which is I want my way, would my mom be here?
Forever.
Yeah,
of course.
right. But when things don't go your way, you can't get upset and storm out and, you know, be disruptive at all times. You got to know that there could be some other opportunity on the other side of that. And so my mom passing away gave me so much strength and resilience to continue to push through. And it gave all my brothers and sisters that same resilience because my mom said she gave us one another, you know, by having 9 kids. And so it was a true blessing. It's been a true blessing that my mom has given us each other. And so it's taught me a lot. And I said again, I would want nothing more than to have my mother. And to, you know, we didn't have voicemails or just even to hear her voice today. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Back then, you know, there was, you know, video footage of her like the same way. But I think that it's been one of those things that have given me the power to continue to push through because I always think, is my mom proud? And am I a child that she would be proud of? You know what I mean? And so, you know, I don't abandon ship, stay in there. And I use it as a power tool, though. A lot of times people, you know, immediately go, man, I'm sorry. Or, you know, and sometimes people don't know what they're sorry for because they never lost anyone. And, you know, I've had to learn that the sorry is just a way of connecting and feeling empathy.
Condolences.
For, you know, it's been 30 years, right? You know, so for me, it became understanding of how I can use it to help other people that go through it, right? And how am I going to use it?
Yeah, man.
And so that's where it shifted. And it became a power source versus a thing that I ran from. Because I know that I want to exalt her name. So why would I, you know?
Absolutely. You have the angel watching over you, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing that, man. Thank you for sharing that. Let's talk some music, man. Let's talk some music. Some of your musical influences, you know, let's start with growing up, you know what I'm saying? Houston, right? A lot of legends coming out of Houston. And then obviously I want to get to some of the stuff on your playlist currently. So
this is interesting. So I got to go to some of the guys you talked about earlier. You got to go Scarface.
Yes, sir.
You got to go Zero. Zero is my guy, but Zero said, why would I make any happy songs when I'm going through pain?
Right.
You got Lil Kiki, you got Slim Thug. Slim Thug's from the north side, but the north and south is we better. But Slim Thug is great. Growing up in Houston, you know, always a Biggie, Tupac fan. Jay-Z, those are just legends. Those are just guys that you just put on repeat. But being from Houston, I'm a H-Town guy that love H-Town music. That's what we did. Big Pokey. I don't know if you know about Chopped and Screwed. Everything. Course. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Most recent playlist, I love.
Who you listening to? Like who? You know, you're in the gym. You know, it's all about energy.
I'm loving right now. I love the Kendrick album. I love what Kendrick's doing. Big X is just gym. Big X just going crazy in the gym. Gunna got some heat out right now. He's dropped the Him song.
Yeah, the Him All Along.
Him All Along. You know, man, Kevin Gates got some shit with him. Kevin Gates. I keep because the gym, especially when you're talking about the gym playlist, it's like what hits you because you can go back to some Jeezy and some T.I. Like, you know what I mean? And those guys just give me so much. I mean, I love it's just out of time. And then you can never go wrong with 50 Cent. Like people still like that old Get Rich or Die Trying in the gym. No matter where you at, it's gonna always hit.
What time of the day? What part of the year it is?
It don't matter what it is. It's gonna always hit. You know, man, I've become. My wife is a big fan of LA.
Okay.
So like she's put me on artists like Don Kennedy. Don Kennedy.
Yes, sir.
So she's put me on him. She's put me on a lot of LA rappers that kind of, you know what I mean? So I love the LA sound versus where it was for me before. You know what I mean? We ride in the car. It's a tick for tat.
Yeah, no doubt. There's a lot of good stuff out right now. There's a lot of good stuff.
It's a lot of great stuff. Like I don't get caught up into, I love music. I still think Drake is
dope.
I mean, Drake is Drake. You
Come
know
on,
what I mean?
man.
Like
for the last 15 years, this guy's been.
He's still Drake. He can still put out a hit, and so I'm just a fan of like good vibes and good music. There's this girl that I saw on. Where's my phone? I want to show you this.
Yeah, I would love to see.
I think Black Truck. You know Black Truck.
So are we talking about the Rhythm and Flow show?
Yeah. What's the girl name?
Oh man, because she was on the Rhythm and Flow show.
And I found she played that Black Truck on the show.
She's so good.
What is her name?
Yeah. I saw this. I saw them perform it, but the song's out of here already. Yeah. She's super talented, but they did the collaboration moment on the Rhythm. So good.
Mariba is fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I got, every once in a while, I'm not really but Glow got
Glorilla, turn it up.
Turn it up. I'm looking at some of the stuff on here. She'll go crazy.
Glorilla, Sexy Red, for sure. Yeah,
and then Blast. I love Blast.
So good.
Blast, good, man.
So talented.
I love that right there. He just
perfect. LA vibes, summertime. Yeah. He just makes great music.
He makes great music, bro.
Great music.
Yeah.
How did you meet Kevin Hart?
I was 19, bro. 21 years ago in a barbershop. So interesting enough.
Barbershop.
Yep. Ray knows this story all too well. Kev used to in Inglewood.
Okay.
We used to go to Platinum Cuts right on it's on La Brea. No, it's not on La Brea. It's on Manchester and La Brea. Okay. No, Manchester, not La Brea. What is that, Ray? Manchester, and it's on Manchester.
Got it.
Platinum Cuts in Inglewood.
Yeah.
John cut everybody hair, and John used to cut our hair. We was playing out here. John, Greg, the whole shop was fire. And met Kev in the barbershop. Kev was soul playing Kev. He was coming in the barbershop paying people to take their necks in line, and same old Kev. And met him back then. We was crazy football players. We didn't care. We was going up to the Westchester Park.
Okay.
We was fighting. We was throwing hands all the time. Like it was just. We was wild.
Right.
And met Kev at the barbershop. Fast forward, I was training Neo, who I met. His manager that was like got on the road with Neo by circumstance, because his manager trained at my gym I used to own in Atlanta.
Crazy.
And got on the road with him and did amazing, and then ended up linking up with Kev, and that was the familiarity between the barbershop and John, who is his current barber that still travels. And Kev was like, yo, I want you to come out with me. And Neo was kind of slowing down. Neo was in great shape. And I had moved to Saudi Arabia for a little bit of time.
Oh, wow.
And one thing led to another. Kev said, hey man, I want to do this fitness thing in a big way. And I said, look man, let's do it. I just want to do some business. And Kev said, all right, let's do it. And he took that word, and we did some amazing things. We did some major partnerships, did some major covers of some magazines, and till this day, man, it's 10 plus years and a lot of great opportunities, a lot of building, a lot of things we've been able to really, really build.
Beautiful, man. Yeah. All the success, everything you got going on. What still motivates you? What makes you wake up at 3:30 every morning, man?
Man, I think the drive to let yourself down, not letting myself down. You tend to get success and you want to slow down, or what people deem to be successful. And I don't think I reached my pinnacle. I think there's just so much more, and I'm surrounded that 5 closest people to you. Yeah. When they're still striving and people are still driving for more, and that just motivates me so much, man, to be able to do that. And then you have, I'm a man. I love to provide. I love to protect, and so that motivates me to just continue to be. That's who I want my kids to see. My kids go, Daddy, where you going? Or Dad's got to go to work, or Dad's going to the office, or Dad's going to the gym, and they get to come to the gym with me. That's what continues to wake me up. My kids aren't getting up at 3:30 in the morning. But I'm after this, I'm going to go home. I'm got some goals. I got to hit some miles. I'm going to go run some miles real quick. You know what I mean? They're going to come with me, And so, I just want to be an example, for my peers and my family that you can do it too. And whatever that is, and not just, we all tend to tie it back to money, but it's really about the self gratification, the self fulfillment of accountability to self. You said you was going to do this, do it. You did. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I just want to be consistent to that. I want to be consistent to that. And, things will change, in the future. But as of right now, I'm locked into the wake ups. I'm locked into more. We want to build more things.
Dedication. How about your faith in God, man? We talked about it outside and living in that purpose. My faith in God is unwavering, right? I'm not the guy to sit on here and quote Bible scriptures. My wife is, and so are my brothers. But my faith is unwavering. I believe in God. I pray a very specific. I think that's how you say the word. I like specific. I'm from Texas. They be saying Pacific. Right. I've learned certain prayers that are very, very deep to me and how I want to connect with God. I talk to God as if he's my friend, versus this thing that we don't see. And I believe when I talk to him, he hears me. And so my faith is just that. It's a relationship. You know what I mean? It's a relationship with God. And it's not, something that is your thing. It's my thing. And in today's time it's shifted for me. And I'll say this, and not to go too deep. I stopped saying that the universe and started saying God. I stopped saying manifest and started saying prayer, because the more we live, the more you're around, people didn't want to, people started to say, well, I don't want to talk about God. Right. Because they didn't know how they were going to be viewed. And so people would say, I manifested this versus I prayed for this, or the universe did this and versus God. Right. And so to each his own, I just wanted to be intentional with people saying, no, God, or I prayed. I don't want to. I didn't want to get into too much of the worldly words of like not addressing that I believe in a higher being, and whatever you believe in is what you believe in. But for me, I hear more today than ever that people, say alternative things. But for me, I'm going to say I prayed. I'm going to say God. I'm not going to say universe. I'm not going to say manifest. Right. I love it. And there is a manifestation of things, and there is but I don't want to supplement one for the other. Understood. I still want to talk about my level of prayer. Intention. Such a great word too, man. Intention. I'm doing everything with intention. Yeah. What do you think is the biggest misconception about health and fitness right now, man? The biggest misconception right now that everybody's watching is this I don't even like saying the name, this easy drug that is allowing people, we don't know the long-term effects. We don't know anything. I think for me, that is easy. Health and wellness, fitness is about your heart health. It's about your mental health. Amen. You know what I mean? Right, so like, that's right. It's not just about the weight loss, right? Yeah. You can be a bigger person and also be healthy. It's really about, are you taking care of yourself mentally and physically and moving more and being able to, if you're going through something, having a group of individuals, right? That's the misconception to me about health and wellness. Health and wellness is about uplifting yourself and others, versus just the physical. If you look good, it is an inspiration, man. My guys will tell you, if a motherfucker in shape, he in shape. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Yeah. I used to, people used to say, man, you on some performance enhancing drugs. And I'm like, thanks for the compliment, but no. I'm not. But that's a compliment that you think that what I've done, I'm not walking around the most ripped guy. I lead and by example of what I do. I love being challenged, and I think the misconception is people aren't really thinking about it from a mental place and an actual physical place of kind of how you build yourself and build others around you through what your discipline is. Right. And we're chasing the weight loss and not the gains of opportunity to be better for so many other people for the work that you put in. Yeah, man. Yeah. Who's one athlete? Is there one athlete? I mean, we talked about Kobe, you know what I mean? That just work ethic, all the boxes, just a different type of monster in that gym that you could speak about any of their inspirational stories that you've witnessed? I'm sure there's many.
Yeah. I mean, look, I give Jason Tatum. I watch, young guy, beast, court, gym court, Russ. I mean, I've been able to watch Russ, the same thing.
Work.
But not like deep work, like on time, like never late. You know what I mean? Guys that say they there at 8, he there at 7:50. Like, you know what I mean? And been blessed to be able to be around those guys and being able to see young guys like a Tatum take it serious so these guys, there's the guys that you see the guys that take it serious and the guys that don't. I got to give my guy Trey Lyles, who plays for the Sacramento Kings, got to give him credit because we're always looking at the bigger names, but Trey is one of those guys that I see do dog work. He's committed, his food, so being able to watch him, these are guys that I have direct access to watch, you know what I mean?
That,
and so, I've become a fan of guys that do the work.
You know what
I mean? And Trey has it, Russ has it, Tatum has it. And I can name a few, but at the top of my mind,
those are the ones that come to mind.
Those are the ones that come to my mind.
I love hearing those stories, man, because you see the money, you see the cars, you see the lifestyle, and the distractions are there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So to hear how diligent, some of these athletes are and people you work with is incredible.
Most of these guys never late, always on time.
Love it.
Communicating, it's not just one workout. There's the weights, then there's the court, and then there's the body work, and then there's the cold plunge, so they're dedicated their lives to being a better athlete for their game and for their work and for their, for their jobs. And so it's inspiring, right? And so many people try to look down on it, but it's real work, and so, because they don't understand it. They're like, you just playing basketball. No, that's my job. You know what I mean? And so are you playing football? And I've been able to see, I remember watching Adrian Peterson. He was a dog, you know what I mean? Like dog, but the way he worked in the gym off season. So he wasn't, you know what I mean? Like you get to see guys that, put in the real work, and again, that's kind of where I'm always inspired. Like I told you from the beginning, I'm just not like looking. I'm like, okay, that's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's how you're supposed to get it. And so, to be able to watch Matt goes crazy,
hard, huh?
Goes hard. Paul Pierce is back in it deep. Like
love to see
he
that.
was coming in, he was, doing it for healthy reasons, but now he's deep. So those young guys that I talked about that are truly still in it, but these OGs I have access to be around, and the knowledge that they're sharing and the things that they're doing for the young guys too is super important.
Super dope. Yeah. What can you say about like a LeBron James who's still operating at this level at this point in his career? Just celebrated, I think, his 40th birthday.
Yeah, you can't say anything about him. I mean, you're talking about one of the greatest to ever play the game. You're talking, this dude is like, I know his trainer too, Mike, and just knowing the way they train, knowing the way he takes care of his body, it's special. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you hear stories, man, but it's exciting just to kind of see a guy do what he's doing and performing at the same level that he's performing at.
Bro,
man. It's incredible.
When you're talking GOATs, you have to put him in the conversation.
1,000%.
Just that he's given his fans an extra 6-7 years of high quality, competitiveness.
Dude is one of a kind.
One of a kind.
You know what I mean? And there's so many others that are one of a kind as well, right? But he's doing what he's supposed to do, and he's inspiring people to continue. This is what you can do.
Who's 3 of your NFL GOATs as a fan, just from growing up till now? Who's 3 of your favorite players?
My favorite players so Andre Johnson, Houston Texans. I feel like he's one of the best wide receivers. You can't leave out. I don't know. I'm biased to H-Town because Warren Moon was
Shout
there.
To
Warren Moon was OG.
Great quarterback, man. Great quarterback.
Great. Man, it's tough because as much as I love Jerry Rice, Randy Moss. Just some of football that was what I love. So it's hard to just say my
narrow
3.
It down.
Yeah, that's tough because I'm a fan of, Sean Taylor. I'm a fan of I can rhyme like dogs. Like I just love dogs. Like Khalil Mack. Like Derek Johnson, I could go
So
guys
many
that
greats.
just play the game at a high level, not just from because see, when you're a football guy, you're not just looking at who they promote. Mm-hmm. You're looking at actual real football guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so you're looking at guys that make like Vince Wilfork, like nobody talking about, but that he plugged Patriots, like, you know what I mean? Like true dominant. So it's tough for me to just like
narrow it down.
Yeah, to like 3. It's tough.
Okay.
It's tough.
How about NBA?
I mean, you just, I mean, for me, it's man, you can't, Kobe, MJ, LeBron, it's still, my friends are still up there too. Like I'm just an even round guy. Like the debate is like, but you can't take away from any of those guys.
Yeah.
Those 3 guys are the best, and not trying to be controversial. Michael, Kobe, LeBron are in the conversation, but I feel like you can't leave out Steph Curry for what he's done to the game of basketball.
Man,
right? So
seriously.
like it's like, man, he's done so much to the game of basketball.
Game.
I think one of the things that should be part of the conversation is position. Because
good call. Yeah.
Right, because it's when you talk position, it changes the way you view the game or who you put.
Right.
Overall basketball player, we can talk about the 4, the 5, top, but I like position. I like position because I feel like when you think about a Shaq, but then I think about a Hakeem Olajuwon, when you think about a Tim Duncan, and you like, so you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you
can fly Allen Iverson if you go guard.
Yeah, you can fly because because people act like Allen. I mean, he changed the game.
He's that guy.
I mean, he's still culturally relevant. I mean, still, you know what I mean?
Doubt.
Some of the things that he did. So yeah, bro. But Steph is up there for me too.
Me too, man.
Yeah,
me too.
He's a game changer.
All right, 2 more questions, then I'll let you run, man. If you could guarantee one habit for everyone in the world to adopt, what would that habit be and why?
The one habit is moving more. And not just because it's my profession. I just believe that, moving, walking, opens up your mind. It gets you out of state of complacency. Mm-hmm. I would love for everybody to just, if we can give any habit to people, is to move.
Get
more.
out there and
move. Just move, man. If you stress, moving helps you. You know what I mean? Like but when you sit, it
lingers and you dwell.
But when you're moving, something may come up. Mm-hmm. Okay, I got to fix this. I'm walking. You have a great conversation with somebody that just went through something. You know what I mean?
Right.
That you like, oh man, it gives you a perspective. But when you sit in your own world, a habit is to get out, move, and outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah,
that would be the habit. Just get out and move outside of your comfort zone, and you'll realize that you ain't the only one going through it.
Heard that.
You can share moments with other people, and then you'll give yourself a perspective that maybe what I'm going through isn't so bad. You know what I mean?
Perspective, such a good word, man. Perspective.
It gives yourself a perspective that everything I'm going through may not be that bad.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
If Kevin Hart wrote a movie about one of your training sessions, right, what would the movie be called?
Football Man. He likes to call me Football Man.
Football Man. Why Football Man?
Because back in the day, I was Football Man. I was the crazy, nigga, let's go, nigga, all over the top. Get that big bit, get it up off of you. Yeah. In the gym, no matter where we were.
Lock it up, dog. Lock it up.
Yeah, I was loud talking. I'm running around the gym. I'm saying what's up to everybody. I'm over the top, like ready. You know what I mean? Just OD. Like it would probably be Football Man. He go, oh, there go Football Man coming out. That's what that was one of the things he would always, try to get on me about, is being Football Man. I'm like, man, I'm me. I'm not you. I'm me. This is how I motivate people.
That's right.
That's why I motivate you. That's why we still together. You know what I mean?
I love it,
Football Man knows how to bring the best out of you.
That's right.
And so many others. So man, I think that would be the name of the movie, Football Man.
Right. Just Train, boss.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been an amazing conversation. I appreciate you. you, man. You're inspiration to all of us, man. And thank you. Thank you for taking the time to sit down and talk with me today, man.
Just, I appreciate you for having me on, man. I appreciate RJ for
me too, man.
Linking us. Linking this is amazing. Up, man. And I just want to say to everybody, man, no matter where you're on your journey, bro, just keep pushing. You know what I mean? Don't ever stop. No matter what you're going through, remember somebody's always going through something a little bit difficult. And if you just remind yourself that, you got more, you got some dogs in the fight with you.
Yes. That's what this conversation helped me with today as well. RJ's always reminding me of similar things we talk about every single day. And I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful to have this time with you.
Man, thank you so much, Just. I appreciate you for having me on, man. This has been special.
And I know you got so much going on this year, man. Congratulations on everything. And cheers to more greatness. And you know what I'm saying? More blessings your way.
Thank you. Same back to you, bro. I look forward to it.
Thank you, man. Just Train Boss is here. I'm Just Incredible. This has been the Just Incredible podcast. Peace and love.
Just Incredible.
Hey, yo, Just Incredible.
You don't know, eh?
Keep winning.
Yes, sir. Hey, thank you to everyone who watched this podcast. The music you're hearing, that's provided by LA's own The Eastie Boys. If you enjoyed watching this, please hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section, and while you're there, tap that subscribe button so you can subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me. There's more content just like this, and trust me, a lot more on the way. To keep up with me off of YouTube, follow me on Instagram at Justin_credible or my TikTok. You can just search Watch Just Incredible. Thank you so much for watching.